Hello, and welcome to another episode of My Backstage Pass. This is your host, Lee Zimmerman, with my producer, co-host, and I gotta say, good buddy, Billy Hubbard. And today, we're really excited because we have with us Greg Garing.
Yes.
All the way from Nashville. Welcome,
Yes.
Greg.
Yeah,
Thank you. Glad to be here.
We're glad to have you here. So, man, I was looking at your bio. What a resume you have, and you've been playing since you were a mere child, which is amazing.
Yeah, 10 years, maybe.
Yeah, maybe 10 years. I know you started at tender age, and you started at the age of 20. And what are you now? 26. Okay,
Yeah, about 26.
We love it. We love it. What is especially impressive here, though, are all the people that you've played with, who helped mentor you, whose band you were a part of. Just rattle off some names here because, man, it's really impressive.
Oh, lucky boy. John Hartford was, John actually called me at home. I thought it was a crank call.
Wow.
And asked if he could be my mentor. I was like, oh, okay.
Wow.
Jimmy Martin was my big idol. I got to ride shotgun with Jimmy for many years and be his best buddy, and a lot of time with Bill Monroe. I could go on all day. I was very lucky.
Well, that's all right. We got all the time in the world here. You have a performance where we should mention we're at the station here.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, in Louisville, Tennessee, and you'll be performing later. But Greg, you don't mind if we just do this interview for like 3-4 hours?
Let's just go for it.
Yeah, we'll just go for it here. You know, I'm interested in what motivated you to pick up an instrument and to make this your life's work.
Well, sheer boredom.
Okay, look, we're gonna.
There you go.
I told you we're gonna.
Sheer
play
boredom,
that.
lots of snow, and health issues as a child. So I just kind of took to the instruments, or they took to me one.
And now.
Now I have no choice.
Well, but now you have a whole instrumental arsenal that you work with. Whatever has strings on it, you're pretty adept at playing on it, right?
Yeah, they usually have strings sometimes.
Unless you break them.
Yeah, you gotta. Money's short these days, you know.
You don't want to break
Best 5-string guitar player in Nashville.
And my better half here, Sarah, she was asking me earlier, and I didn't know the answer. She said, well, ask Greg what age you were when you started, who taught you to play? I mean, did you just self-taught? Or?
It kind of was self-taught. My sister and mother played a little bit, enough not to hurt them, as they say. And but I just became obsessed with records as a child. And just my room was the average 10-year-old kid with the 78 RPM records of Benny Goodman stacked to the ceiling.
Wow.
So it just kind of fooled with it till I got it. I don't know.
So was your family, you mentioned your mom, I mean, was your family like very musical? Was there musical?
Actually, it's kind of skipped a generation, and I didn't get to really know my grandparents because they were all born in the late 1880s, actually.
Really? Wow.
And big generation gap in my family. And so but my grandfather was from Slovakia, and he was a fiddle player. Wow. And I guess he could play anything. And that was my father's side. And then my mother's side, that was on my mother's side. On my father's side, my grandmother actually played the piano in the silent movie houses way back, like in the early days of
This
of
is
cinema.
fascinating.
And I kind of became obsessed with old music through that.
Wow, there's a whole history of American music ingrained in you, so to speak. I mean, that goes back to the roots there, really.
Yeah, I've just kind of been obsessed. At one point, I went back and started at the beginning and got real into like colonial music and fife and drum and all that stuff.
Wow.
And then kind of worked my way up to this late 50s and stopped.
That's a long way to go. We don't blame you for taking a rest there, Greg.
Yeah, really.
And I think at this juncture we should mention this. I mean, this is what an incredible accolades here. Johnny Cash called you the best country singer I heard in 30 years. Wow.
Yeah, this is one I don't tell often, but he was actually wanted to produce me for Rick Rubin's label with Dead American, I guess it's called.
Wow.
And I hate to say it, but at the time Johnny wasn't that known, and again yet like he became, and I didn't really think. I thought it'd be great, but I didn't think much of it at the time, and I just signed with Warner Brothers and couldn't get out of the deal anyway. But kicking myself now.
Well, you can't look back. I think you've done pretty well for yourself, regardless. I mean, how many have you made under your own name?
Made or put out? Because
well,
I've had 9 major record deals and have put out 1 record, because we know how that business goes.
9 record deals, and you've put out 1 record
through the labels. But I've put out many records on my own over the years.
Okay, well that counts. How many records have you put out on your own age?
Probably 10 or 12. I don't remember.
All right, but you've also been on a lot of records by other people too, right?
A little bit, actually. Be surprised. I was never that interested in the session thing. Is that same 8 guys making the same song over and over again in Nashville.
Yeah. Well, I mean, from what I've read about you, you kind of shun labels and pigeonholing yourself, shall we say. You right? I mean, you have a definite feeling about,
rebel
styles.
kind of thing. Rebel, are you?
Well, the thing is, I'm a little schizophrenic, and so am I. So I just can't stick in one place. I get restless. Although I always wind up back in the bluegrass.
Yeah.
That's where my heart is.
Well, I saw you played with I was looking at some of the stuff too, like the Roy Acuff. My grandpa, he was born in the 1800s. I forgot what year, but late 1800s. But anyway, whenever they started working and clearing, before he became famous, they were clearing TVA, was building all these dams, and they were clearing land, and Roy would, my grandpa said, Roy ate his lunch every day because he never would bring enough lunch. And so back then they carried him in a flour sack or something.
Oh, dear.
That's way back then. And Hank Snow, we were in Nashville. Sarah and my wife, we were in Nashville and staying at Hank's ranch, and you was telling me when we were out there last time, you and Hank Snow were buds or something. You played together?
I actually didn't know Hank that well. I knew him, but I knew his family.
Oh, okay.
And so I would crash at the house when I wasn't living in Nashville.
His old ranch is still, you can stay there. It's like a Airbnb or something now. It's pretty
Rainbow
cool.
Ranch.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
And the sound in there is incredible. It's all wood, It's like I said, I can imagine picking in there was pretty good sound.
Yeah, he had a studio there in the basement if you went downstairs.
Yeah, I saw that, man. It's an interesting place.
He actually made a lot of his records at home, playing everything, overdubbing all the instruments.
Oh, I didn't know how much he used that studio. Yeah, well, that's pretty cool.
Where do you record generally?
In my basement at home.
Well,
although I don't have a basement.
No, but you took a lesson from Hank Snow. You're recording at home.
Yeah, right? Les Paul was my idol with that stuff. That guy was ahead of his time for a long time before anybody caught up with him with the multi-tracking. We were actually supposed to make a record together. I wound up in Texas on a bad record deal, and by the time I got back to New York, he had passed away. But he had the masters of a record he started in 1950. It was a country record where he was singing. He started out on WLS in Chicago as Rhubarb Bread as a country act, but he wanted to finish that record with me playing guitar. So even the thought of it was a great honor.
Yeah, I would think so. Now, how long have you been in Nashville?
In and out since '86.
Since '86. And what brought you to Nashville? How did you make the decision that you wanted to go to Nashville?
Actually, I didn't. I wanted to go to New York City.
And you made the wrong turn on the highway.
Yeah, I got lost the wrong way. I tend to do that.
Yeah.
But I was down there for a bluegrass convention, and this gal named Andrea Zahn, she actually sang with Vince Gill for a long time. Wonderful fiddle player. And
Andrea Zio.
Zio.
I know who that is. Yeah.
But her and Allison Krauss. And we used
Yeah,
to
I
run
think they're
around
on
together. when
Compass
we were,
Records or something. Yeah.
We used to hang out together when we were teenagers on the bluegrass circuit, and she was like, "You gotta move down here." It's like, I don't want to move to Nashville. She's like, "No, you don't understand. Everybody's here. Everybody is here. Like this. What are you doing up north?" And so next thing I knew, I packed up and moved down to Nashville.
Wow.
Actually got a job at Opryland, which was very hard to do
Yeah.
as a legitimate band and a musician, because they mostly had all those theme park shows and things, but we shared the Martin Guitar Bluegrass Theater with a couple of acts. Mac McGahey, who played with Reno and Smiley, and Porter Wagner for many years. He had a show there, and
Wow.
another act in us, and we did three of us split the shifts in there. And so I came to Nashville and started playing between 9 and 14 sets a day, 6 days a week.
9 and 4. How long?
Young
were
and
the
able to do that
sets?
at the time. So, just like a standard 45-minute set. So we pretty much played all day long. It was $300 a week. I thought I was getting rich.
9 to 14, 45-minute shifts. Hey, I feel lazy I complain about my gig. Man, you're... I also understand that James Brown, the great James Brown, when they called him the hardest working man in showbiz, he said, no, it's Greg Garing.
Yeah.
He's working 6 days a week, 14 gigs.
And what was it? You had a residency somewhere. Was it Nashville somewhere?
Yeah, that was way back. That was more of a how do I say this? Trying to save things downtown.
Oh, yeah.
And the fella that owned Tootsie's Orchid Lounge, which was kind of the quintessential honky-tonk in the dressing room in the Grand Ole Opry in the days, had it in his mind to make it into a sports bar, and I wasn't so happy with that. So
wow, yeah.
That was still a knife and gun club down there in those days, although safer than it is now, to be honest. Started a residency in the back room at Tootsie's, and
wow.
I guess that's why I get the credit for starting the whole Lower Broadway thing, because I didn't do that, folks. I really didn't.
Yeah, you saw a lot of change, man. I'd say you've been for quite a while. Wow.
Yeah, when you got there was nothing really happening down there, and now it's flourishing, and so you've seen this transition, right?
Yeah, it took a wrong turn, if you ask me, and most locals aren't very happy with the direction Nashville's going. It's just turning into everywhere else, and we're losing what's special about the town.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's really getting bad. That's why I always tell everybody, go to Jolton Hardware. If you want to go to find the real good country, come up to Jolton Hardware.
Is that your place? You have a
it's
venue?
kind of a co-op. It's owned by these folks called Chris and Elliot Hauser.
All right.
And, I came in about a year ago. They were toying with having music in there, and I said, could I play in here? They said, sure. And a couple of days later, I said, can I have keys and have music in here 6 nights a week? And they said, sure. And so it's blossoming into quite a thing, actually. We're about to move outside as well. We're building this week, actually, we're building a big outdoor stage.
Oh,
wow.
Plus you're doing a podcast that you're about to, I just saw that recently.
Yeah, it's kind of in the style of the old school radio shows, with like a variety show, nonstop,
plug it.
4 or 5 guests on each show. It's called Greg Garing's Music City Circus.
Is that going to put us to shame, Billy? I don't know. Now I feel somewhat...
I may have to edit that out. Competition.
I don't know. My ego is sinking here.
Yeah, because it's pretty cool, I must say.
So you have music there 6 nights a week?
Yes, sir.
And how many of those nights are you involved?
Well, we have Bluegrass Mondays, where I kind of host the best of the best bluegrass makers in the area. And then on Tuesday night, we had the great Gene Dunlap. He was Loretta Lynn's piano player for many, many years.
Oh, yeah. Very
In fact,
famous.
he was on our little circus show this last week.
Cool.
And which we do on Wednesday nights, and then we kind of mix it up the rest of the time.
So are you there every evening?
Pretty much.
You are a workaholic.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
You really are. I mean, again, I'm embarrassed because I say I work too hard, and look at Greg Garing here. He's
Well, I don't make any money if it makes you feel
Well,
good.
I don't either. I don't either, Greg. I mean, so okay, we have that in common. It's kind of depressing to work so hard.
Let's just move on.
Not, yeah. Oh, wait a minute. I had to. I'm sorry. I had to. Wow. So other than the venue that you're involved in now, what are some of your current projects looking now and looking forward?
Well, this circus show is keeping me pretty busy, and actually hoping to tour it eventually and record from different cities around America. Not too much, but a little bit. Maybe here.
Yeah. So you,
man.
I get a lot by asking for favors on the radio.
Billy.
Hey, well, you're welcome.
Billy.
To record here. Yeah. Hey, we had someone record here, and a music video recently, and it went viral. It's like 1 million views in a month. Or
Was it
something.
Madonna?
Well, no. Actually, the song's called Miss Tennessee. I forgot the artist name already. It's not exactly your, our normal Americana genre. We're not saying anything else.
If you're listening, do not be offended that Billy forgot your name. It happens.
But
Come on.
whoever you are, you're very famous, though. She's a young lady from North
Okay, that
Carolina.
narrows it down.
Okay.
A young lady.
Sure, it's not Madonna.
No, but it's called a Diesel.
Greg insists it's Madonna.
Okay, it was Madonna. Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay. All right. So you plan to do some touring? Have you set it up yet?
Little bits and pieces. No, actually, the old Jolton Hardware is keeping me mighty busy. And I've had some fun health issues over the years. I'm doing a lot better these days,
Good.
but I'm still not so into cramming into a van and driving for 15 hours only to play for 10 minutes and sleep in a van. So
Yeah.
that seems to be the theme these kids have to follow these days.
Well, at least you get to play more than 10 minutes here. And I know gas prices. Okay, I'm going to tell my joke on gas prices.
I'm
You
going
know
to go at
Here we
least
go.
12 minutes tonight.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Here's my joke. You know where you can get gas for $1.59 here in town?
I don't want to.
Taco Bell.
Oh, wait.
Oh, that needs a pause too. There we go.
There we go. That deserves better than
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, that was good. And Billy, I want to thank you for not making us wait for the punchline. It was not a long way to go. Thank you.
Shoot, I should have waited longer.
No, Billy, you hit the showbiz pinnacle by getting that punchline right in
It's
there.
tough time on that stuff.
Yeah. So you're from Pennsylvania originally,
Yes, sir.
and how long were you in Pennsylvania? You grew up there?
Grew up there till 2021.
Okay.
Started venturing off. I actually moved to Washington, D.C. right
Really?
before I moved to Nashville.
Okay.
Washington was kind of the bluegrass hub for a long time.
That's true.
And I got there just in time to find out everyone had moved to Nashville.
Everyone had left.
So back to Pennsylvania for a minute, and then I actually was offered the job at Opryland playing upright bass, and I said, "Yes, sir, I'll be there." And I just never played that thing in my life, and boy, my fingers were sore for the first month.
But you were able to kind of fake it, I bet.
Well, I had played some bass,
Okay.
but not for 14 hours a day.
Wow.
Again,
Take your fingers, right? You just
14
they were
hours
a little.
day.
Yeah,
you tape them up. I see.
they
one
were
little-
taped.
Yeah. God. Well, again, this goes back to the fact that you're a master of all
What'd you
these-
call me? Oh, sorry. go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, I'm telling you, Greg, this is your reputation. You know how to play all these stringed instruments. Is there anything? No, I'm not going to ask you that because you'll say, I was going to ask you, is there anything you can't play? And then you do something self-effacing. But I bet you're pretty damn good at everything you put your mind to here.
Yeah, I can get around, I reckon.
How many instruments do you play?
I hate that question because I really don't know.
Well, can you edit that one out, Billy?
Yeah.
Well, no,
sure.
I've
I
always
hate asking questions people hate for me to ask.
Oh, it's okay. It happens all the time. No, I don't know.
I was.
I don't want to sound like I'm bragging. That's why I hate that question.
No,
but-
I'm asking.
well,
giving
I've
you
always
the
looked at it
opening.
a certain way. You've
Yeah.
got an instrument. There's only so many notes in our scale, like 4 or something. I don't remember. But once you learn where it is on that instrument, what's the difference? And as a child, I had that in my mind.
Yeah.
And when you're a kid, you can do anything. So I think that's just kind of where it came from. It's like, oh, it's all the same. Once
pretty
you learn to get a
remarkable, though.
tone and find the,
You make it sound so easy, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it looks easy when he does it. Because I went home after he played something, and I thought, oh, man, I like that song. I want to try that. Oh, yeah. Only a memory that I got stuck in my head. Or
well,
no,
wait
I'm
a
sorry.
minute.
I said it wrong. Am I even a memory? Because I've had that stuck in my head. And my wife will tell you, she got stuck in her head, which is a good thing, I think, right?
That's a good thing. You used to call it the old blue whistle test at the
Oh.
BBC.
Yeah.
And because if the old ladies in the
I think it's the
cafeteria-
old gray whistle
yeah,
test.
the old gray whistle
Yeah,
test.
I hate
that's
to
right.
correct the guests,
Yeah,
but
well, yeah, I
couldn't
won't
let
forget
go.
that.
Yeah, old gray whistle test. So are we going to hear?
Oh, yeah.
a
Well, tell us
sample
about
of
it.
this man's
Tell us about how
music?
you wrote this and about Wanda Jackson. You can tell us about that. too.
Okay.
That's a great-
Well, it's a typical Greg Garing story. I wrote the song with Wanda in mind, but I didn't think I'd ever meet her or anything. And then I had a stroke and wound up in the Yucatan jungle. And while I was there,
Oh, my gosh.
Is that where they go for rehab? The Yucatan jungle?
is the way I look at Western medicine. Yes, you go to the shaman. So
Okay.
and a full recovery. Thank you very much.
Wow.
But I was just chatting up with this fella, and he had a guitar, and he said, I love Wanda Jackson. Do you know any Wanda Jackson songs? And I said, no, but I wrote a song for her once. I didn't think much of it. He said, well, sing it for me. And so I did. He said, oh, you're kidding? That's a great song. Because, writers always hate what they do. And so 17 years later, she asked me for songs, and I handed it to her, and she recorded it.
Wow.
Wow.
But you didn't. Did you write it now specifically for her?
I had
When you
her in
wrote
mind.
it?
I also write songs for the Carter family, but they haven't recorded anything yet.
Oh, that's too bad.
Well, hang in there. I think it's.
Yeah, yeah. You alluded to this holistic medicine, and you were. What's this film that you were involved in? The Cruel Tale of the Medicine Man.
Oh Lord, you pulled that one out of the
Well,
of a
it's
hat.
right here
That's
in the
a dear
bio.
friend of mine has a vaudeville house up in New York City. It was the last of an old school thing, and he made a movie using all the cast and characters from his little club there, and I guess they used a few of my songs in it. I was supposed to be in the movie actually, but I wound up back down in Tennessee, so it didn't happen.
Well, this other movie I see here, I'm sure you were in, Legend, a film about Greg Garing.
Yeah,
My gosh.
that one was a mistake. This, like I said, I have had health issues over the years, and because I'm skinny and because
Nothing
I'm
wrong with
really
that.
skinny,
Nothing.
people have said he's on drugs, and I just no, sir. And so, rather than my health is pretty bad at one time, I thought I wasn't going to make it. So this gal called me and said, I saw you play last night. I want to enter a film in the 48-hour film festival. Would you be willing to do it? I said, yes, but I have a plot twist for you. And if you listen to me, you'll win the contest. And she said, there's 28,000 entries. There's no way. And it won first place in the short film category. But it was about me having heavy metal poisoning and what I've been through over the
Well,
years.
that's a sad premise there, isn't it?
But apparently people liked me better when they thought I was on drugs, because that movie hurt my career pretty good.
Or they thought that
man.
you had heavy metal. Well, no, I don't want to make light of it, but they might have thought you were in Metallica or
Yeah,
something.
this
Yeah,
possible. I
Well-
don't remember that, but
yeah. Who played you,
great.
Greg? Who played you in the movie?
oh no, it's a little documentary.
I know,
It's
just joking.
Don't do that to me.
I'm sorry.
Wait a minute. We forgot. We got back up. We were talking about Wanda Jackson. We didn't play the song. I've got.
I know, Billy. I'm trying to cover for you
Oh, okay.
here.
Sorry. I had to get it queued up.
Oh, my
Here we go.
gosh.
Get rid. This is a really good song. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna try not to play it all.
This is one you wrote for Wanda Jackson, or you wrote that she liked, or
Yeah, all of that.
all of that.
Just by chance we didn't meet again, and it carried me back to when you turned and passed me by, like you saw me through strangers' eyes. Am I even a memory? Darling, have you forgotten me? In the night, in the the dreams you see? Am I even a memory? Not an hour or day pass by when memories don't make me cry. What became of the love we shared? Happiness and the way we cared. Am I even a memory? Darling, have you forgotten me? In the night, in the dreams you see, am I even a memory?
Yeah, it's hard to
What a
stop.
beautiful song.
But we got to leave people a chance to go buy it on well, it's on the Apple iTunes and iTunes store. It's so I mean I'm sure it's out there everywhere.
And
That record.
is this your latest record, or is that?
No, I guess that's about. It's about 10 years old now. Actually.
Well, like I said, this is not your latest record, Greg, but it's an oldie goldie. But that's what a beautiful song. Can you share with us a little bit about your songwriting process and just how this comes to you and what makes you sit down and do it?
Well, I like to get with young writers and just steal what they got.
You've got a very dry sense of humor, Greg Garing. I like it.
I don't know. I don't really have one. Usually I just come up with a line and then there it comes. Sometimes I'll just record a track. I'll just put a bunch of chords down and then it just kind of happens. Like this particular song, I think actually kind of happened like that.
Just you do the music before and then
That on that track, that's the musicians I find the easiest to work with in Nashville. I'm playing guitar and I'm playing fiddle and I'm playing bass, man, and drums,
Well, there you go.
and then there's nobody to pay or fight with.
Hilarious. But your work has attracted, widespread accolades and praise from people. I'm seeing here Lucinda Williams, Marianne Faithfull, and Shane McGowan from the Pogues.
He's still around.
Yeah, but they're all fans of yours. Man, that's celebrity circles here.
yeah, man, Lucinda Williams. Wow, I love
Lou just cut one of my songs too. In fact, another song that Wanda Jackson had recorded called "Down Past the Bottom." But I heard that she had moved back to Nashville, and I hadn't talked to her in a while, and so I texted her. I heard you back in town, and she said, "Yeah," and I recorded one of your songs.
Wow.
She didn't even tell me.
Dang, man.
Wow, that's very cool. Is that on a forthcoming album?
No, that was the one that
Is that-
came out just as the pandemic hit. We were actually going to get together. She asked me to get together and write with her, and she never does that. And with anybody, but then things got crazy. First, she moved to my neighborhood, and that tornado hit us, and so first that messed us up. And so I still haven't seen her 2 years later.
Wow.
Yeah, Lucinda, if you listen to this, we need you at the station with Greg.
We
or
need
by
you at the
yourself, whatever.
station, and we need you to give Greg a call.
Yes.
He's waiting for you to call, Lucinda Williams. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Lucinda. Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
When you said you had me with Lucinda when you said that.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're a soft-spoken guy. You're very modest.
Thank you very much.
You took me by surprise just then. But you really, what an amazing career you have. Really.
yeah, really. It's,
What an amazing career you have here.
Like I was telling Lee, I think I told you, but I tell everybody. The first time I saw you live, up at our friend Chris in the Hauser's hardware store, the way I described you to people, and when I was pitching you here for the show tonight, I said, "Hey, it's kind of like it reminds me going back in time." I grew up around the Hank Williams Sr. and some of the really good music, and it's like if I was making a music video, it'd be like you walking out of the fog on the stage, and you had that vibe of the Hank Williams Sr. thing going on, man.
Yeah,
which is a compliment. I hope you know
it is a compliment. I would think Hank Williams.
Just
Sr.
well, there's just not a lot of there's so much commercial country music. It's hard to find one that feels real, and if you grow up around it like a lot of our generation, it's pretty quick to spot it. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting to be a rare thing.
It
It's
is.
getting to be a very rare thing. There's a small handful. Yeah. Old Chris Scruggs, he's a good one.
Oh yeah,
and there's a new young gal out there called Sierra Farrell. She's
talented. I know who that is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I tend to meet them right before
they
something
break big.
happens, and I guess I met her about 8 years ago. She must have been really young.
I understood that you mentor a lot of young, maybe not necessarily young, but just there's a kid here tonight that's pretty young, 13-year-old mandolin player that's pretty impressive. I mean, but like Sarah and some others. I mean, you tend to somehow find them and connect with them at the right time.
Yeah, it seems to be my role rather than becoming famous, but I'm happy with it. I am proud to have had a hand in teaching a lot of these youngins.
Well, hey man, that's a good.
I always figured that if John Hartford and Bill Monroe could do it for me, then I got to do it back.
Yeah, pass it forward.
That's cool.
And I really love the way that you do pursue a traditional sound, unlike some of the stuff that's turned into frat rock and rap and all kinds of weird stuff that they pass off as country music these days. I don't want to be negative. If folks are listening and I don't want to be negative, but there's something to be said for the roots of the music.
Yeah.
Well, it's just where the heart is, and that's why it always comes back to it.
Yeah.
That's why it always comes around.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you got an army of kids these days, though, wearing the clothes and not really putting into the music.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The bad pop country thing is always going to be there. It's always going to exist. But I would like to see the Americana thing step it up a game a little bit, personally.
Yeah.
Well, you're talking to Mr. Americana right here, We'll plug your book, Lee.
Oh, yeah. Well, look, Greg Garing, I do have a book, Americana Music, Voices, Visionaries, and Pioneers of an Honest Sound. I have such talent, I can read the title upside down.
There you go.
The publisher put that name on the book, and it took me about 6 months to memorize it.
We need to add Greg in there somewhere. Do you have some
sequel,
kind of revision?
The sequel now.
Oh,
I think what we need is a book about Greg. Who is doing your autobiography, your biography?
Yeah,
that's been talked about for years, but every time I think about it, I just have cold chills. And it's been a crazy life, and it's been a crazy ride, and I've managed to do it without the drugs and doing stupid things. But I have had a interesting journey. It's my first friends to hang out with when I moved to Nashville were Charlie Dick, who was Patsy Cline's husband, and Minnesota Fats. And you talk about
Minnesota
bad
Fats.
influences on a young person.
Wow. Well,
we need to do a documentary. We need to produce.
I think we need to do a documentary. I think we need to do a book and maybe even a stage play.
It's called Americana before Americana.
Well, Greg Garing's Americana Outlook.
I think it would go, man. I would watch it if okay, we'll all get rich, right? I mean, you get the most rich. We'll just get a little bit.
You get most rich. We'll get minor rich.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to be pitching.
As long as we can pay for printing the book, we'll be fine.
Well, I'm talking about a movie, a documentary, maybe whatever.
Well, they had one, but we need to do a sequel, which is, happy and healthy.
I think I'm gonna. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. Yeah, later.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess we probably should wrap it up here just because we got a show coming up. And
I just want to put in a plug. Billy has a new album coming out. Do you know about that?
I know about that. I almost played on
okay.
it, and if I hadn't had my hands full of hardware, I'd have been over there.
Oh, no,
I think Sean Camp stole my.
Yeah,
He did.
He's
Sean-
got some big names on that
Yeah.
too. Charlie McCoy.
Charlie's coming back in town. Or actually, Charlie got back today. I delayed it I delayed the engineer. He's wanting to mix it. And I said, "Oh, hang on, Charlie, be here." Anyway, because the engineer was so starstruck with Charlie, he said, "Will you please?" And this guy did something with, well, it's not much competition, Lady Gaga or anyway. But
Sure, it wasn't Madonna.
It
No,
was
probably was her,
Greg,
too.
About 30 years too late here. Really, she's not
yeah,
that girl anymore. It's Lady Gaga now. It's the
I
Gaga.
don't want to hear this.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm breaking your heart.
But
here.
man, we're just excited. I wish everybody could see. Well, on my YouTube channel, I do have a video of some you're playing, but folks can find you out there. Just Google your name and you'll pop up. When I Googled your name, I saw a show you did here last fall, and but man, there's some great info. I don't know if I guess you probably Googled your name before. The old Google. See, look at all this info we found, man. We printed it off, and actually there's more than that. That was
It's a lot of words.
I got 3 pages here.
No,
on
and they're really small type too.
Yeah. You have a YouTube channel, do you?
Yeah, and I can't remember
Wow.
which domain I have linked. I got so many domains, but basically Billy Hubbard Music and my Backstage Pass.
He's got a lot going on. He's got the new album. I called him up today. I said, "Billy, we still on for the podcast?" And he said, "Who is this?" And I said,
Yeah.
"It's Lee." And he said, "Lee who?" It's
Yeah.
a little disheartening.
Thought he was yeah.
I meant to hit the wah wah button.
Oh yeah. Wait a
Yeah, I
minute.
know.
Okay, we said that.
I don't. There it
Makes
is.
it. They
I don't
both
know
go
the key.
together. Yeah. Lee. I thought you might have been the Bionic Man. What was that guy's name?
Lee Majors.
Lee Major.
Lee Major.
Yeah. I thought he was calling me because
you
Wait,
shut
is
up.
he
Lee
here?
Major's calling you up. Okay.
No, he used to call me all the time and ask me advice on working out and stuff. But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up, Lee. I guess I'm supposed to do the outro here, so
Yes.
I'm gonna act professional here, and let's see. In this little outro, this is another old song of mine called "Cast." No, it's not. That's my record. This is what's called "Waiting on the Wind." This is the music that we use because I don't want to pay anybody any fees. So anyway, we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. In the noise in the background, there's a few people mingling around.
Yeah, we have a studio audience.
Yeah, we're kind of like live. We don't do that a whole lot, but we did it special here tonight. So, all right, guys, we'll wrap it up. Thanks a lot, Greg, and just Google Greg Garing. And if you're in Nashville, go to Jolton Hardware, which just happens to be in the town of Jolton, right? Is it their community or what is it? Community north? It's sort of north of Nashville.
It's kind of right on the Whites Creek, Jolton border ish.
Oh yeah, I was up there in Madison area. It's kind of close to that. Is it Madison community or something? But anyway, just Jolton Hardware. So
Can I get a pair of pliers there?
You can.
Okay, good.
and they got some really cool hardware too, and the great hamburgers, man. That guy that cooked.
Hamburgers?
Oh yeah, and they also
We're a full restaurant, and we got crickets, and we got
and you get
worms
but the
and hamburgers.
our friend Chris and Elliot, they were telling me that they source a lot of that locally, the farms and the beef and
Yes,
stuff.
sir, all we can. We get most of our produce from old Jeff Poppin, the Barefoot Farmer.
Oh yeah, Barefoot Farm. I know him. Okay, well, anyway, guys, we appreciate everything, and we're gonna exit here. Big thanks to Greg Garing and our host Lee Zimmerman. And as Lee said, check out Lee's book, Americana Music: Voices, Visionaries, Pioneers of Non-Sound. Now available on Amazon. Also, please like, share, and subscribe to my Backstage Pass on your favorite platform. We'll see you all next time, and happy trails.